Previously on GameHammer.
I'm 100% professional.
Would you be liking anesthetic?
Yes, please.
Good. I'll just get the hammer, and then we'll begin.
Hammer? What? What are you talking about?
But how else am I supposed to knock you out?
You've learned nothing from this review. Nothing!
Well, of course not. Now lie still, otherwise this is going to hurt more than it needs to.
I can't believe I got away from that mad doctor. I just need to get to the game room. Need games. Games will restore me. Oh no, I meant a good game. No choice. Must play a terrible game. The first thing you notice about the Game Gear version of Sonic 2 is the intense colour choice. This game is seriously in your face about its colours, and not always in a good way. Sonic has a weird bright outline to him this time around, which clashes with the background for most of the game. The crab monsters in the first couple of acts are a weird dual colour, which looks ridiculous and doesn't fit with the Sonic aesthetic at all. And the whole thing looks a bit of a mess. Sonic remains a large, decently animated sprite, which is good, but you'll quickly notice that Tails is missing, even though he's right there on the cover, the game label, the title screen, and the pictures on each act's individual title screens. That's because Sonic 2 on the Game Gear is only borrowing some of the trappings of its Mega Drive cousin. It's a game unto itself, and it takes a lot of liberties as a result. Gameplay-wise, this is a terrible implementation of Sonic 2. It's clear from the start that the visible screen space is severely limited, and as a result, it's next to impossible in many situations to actually see what's going on. The earliest example of this is the first boss battle. Having already had to make a leap of faith in order to reach the battle itself, you are then presented with a situation where cannonballs bounce down the screen, but you have next to no space to avoid them. The result is a look-based boss fight that destroys any lingering enjoyment you may have clung onto. It's awful, and it should have been obvious from the start of development. I don't know what Sega were thinking when they threw this mess together. And if you do somehow manage to get past that first boss, you are presented with this utter failure of a level. Here, Sonic is trying to fly a glider, but it's next to impossible to do so. You see, you have to be able to reach the top of the screen, and then glide above it in order to gain enough height to get you to the raised platform that you need to hit in order to continue with the game. Naturally, the top of the screen is now a hard-coded barrier, so reaching the required height is a matter of glitching through the game's ceiling. That's right. It's a 2-in-a-row, look-based mission. For 20 years, I've fought this mess of a title. For 20 years, I've never seen the level after this appalling mess of a glider mission. The game, it's killing me. It's so awful. What were they thinking? Were they even thinking at all? I need a good game. But there's no game here at all. How did Sega let this happen? As it turns out, they didn't. The 8-bit versions of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 were not created by Sega. Instead, Sega outsourced development to Aspect, who would later go on to develop Sonic Triple Trouble, Sonic Blast, and Sonic Chaos for the Master System and the Game Gear. Sonic 2 is one of Aspect's earliest titles for the Game Gear under Sega, and development must have been quite tight. Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive had a 9-month development time with some of Sega's most qualified Sonic developers behind it. So to compare that prime team's output against relative newcomers isn't really fair. Nevertheless, that is the situation that we find ourselves in. My aims have failed me. Is there nothing that can help me now?
thought this might help.
The Game Gear has a reputation for playing host to nothing more than retooled Master System games, and sometimes that's undeserved. Sonic 2 is one of those situations. Where the Game Gear version is cramped and next to impossible to play in parts, the Master System gives gamers a slightly easier time. The screen area is much larger, meaning it's far more in keeping with what we expect from a Sonic game. As a result, the boss battles are now a test of skill rather than luck, because you have room to maneuver and you can see what's going on. And you can also catch enough lift when using the glider to actually reach your destination. But still, not all plain sailing. There's still a fundamental flaw with the game, and it still sucks the life out of you. Now the play area is visible, and the various gimmicks like the glider control a little better. It's possible to see the poor level design. I fully believe that several sections of this game were not actually play tested. And as a result, it's possible to render the entire game unwinnable by accident. Take this stage for example. You'll see a mass of pipes that send you flying around the level, so naturally you'll assume it's a maze of some kind that you have to find your way through. But if you stick at it, you'll eventually reach the goal, right? Wrong. It's possible to take a wrong turn early on in the level and end up in a section where there are no correct paths to the exit. You can end up stuck in an endless loop between two sections where there's a way in but no way out. The game betrayed me. For 20 years, I fought it. For 20 years, I never got past that glider. And now, it all comes down to this. I couldn't finish it. It fought too hard. Nothing can defeat the power of atrocious games. Sonic, you broke my heart.
Oh no. Maybe I should have tried bringing a decent game instead.